There's a huge update coming to Rise of Kingdoms, and this affects everyone. Not only is their Ark of Osiris League changes, but migration itself is changing in a very critical way, limiting the number of people that can go to any kingdom. So stick around in this video for the stuff you really need to know. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and today's video is sponsored by the makers of Rise of Kingdoms. And when I saw this update note, man, I knew I had to make a video right away, even though I am about to be battling in KVK versus another content creator. So consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss critical updates and also this insane battle that is probably happening potentially at the time that you're watching this. So let's get a look at this update note, which starts with Ark of Osiris changes. First and foremost, Osiris League 7 is about to start. Get ready to fight tooth and nail. There's going to be a pioneer event for the new Ark of Osiris game mode, Raging Sands. This might be the 5 versus 5 game mode they were talking about, or this could be like the changes they've been promising to the way that Ark of Osiris is going to work. As Seth and Aset stir from their slumber, fierce sandstorms blot out the sun over Egypt. After the update goes live, you will have the chance to experience the new Ark of Osiris game mode, where you'll need to fight through the sands themselves to control Egypt. I guess this is the justification for fog, right? We know fog is coming. Sandstorms. In this new Ark of Osiris map, the map will be covered in a sandstorm that will obscure your view. All right, cool. That is what it is. New skills. In the new Ark of Osiris, 5 new skills will be added to help you fight your way through the sandstorm. Shu's favor. Shu, the god of wind and he who rises up, has seen fit to grant you his blessing at the start of battle. All troops on both sides will receive Shu's favor, increasing their march speed to help them get to the battlefield more quickly. Some skills that increase march speed cannot be used while you have Shu's favor. This is interesting. They're like offsetting the fact that there's fog, or I guess a sandstorm, with additional march speed to get around more quickly. Usually it'd be kind of the opposite, right? Like a sandstorm slows you down. Wouldn't that slow you down? Occupation bonuses and skill tweaks. In the new Ark of Osiris, we have added new bonuses for occupying certain buildings and adjusted or removed certain skills. In Ark of Osiris, titled officers, alliance leaders, and garrison captains can now manually remove troops from their garrison, which is definitely interesting. So there's new depth coming to Ark of Osiris, which should be exciting. I mean, it is hype when they bring new stuff, and we're going to see if this new form of Ark is more fun. But there's more. Oh, there's more. They're adding new equipment. We've added legendary leadership equipment. Hello? Which can be found at the blacksmith once the game is updated. New blueprints are also coming in future updates. Let me tell you something. As someone who just spent multiple thousands of dollars critting the existing equipment for leadership, allow me to express just my very genuine concern that my multi-$1,000 investment that I literally just made is being made irrelevant. I hope that is not the case. I hope that with the design of this, the existing leadership equipment is somehow so different that I still want the leadership equipment that I have, because the amount of money it takes to crit equipment is really expensive. Now, this would not be a problem if the game were to move in a direction that I've been suggesting for many years now, which is that when you talent equipment, it should either be talented or not talented. It doesn't matter what troop type it's talented for. If it's talented and you equip it, you should get more stats. That's how I think the talent system would work in an ideal world. That's not how it works. So I have infantry gear. I have talented it for leadership, and I'm now very concerned that for my Trajan and that potentially for a Heraclius YSS garrison, that now I'm going to have suboptimal stuff and I spent many thousands of dollars to get it. So I hope that all of this is made right, and that's just my genuine concern as I see this. But I'm, very hopeful the developers have sort of accounted for that and have not underwritten the investments players have already made, because the thing that's different about equipment from commanders is that commanders you expect to replace, okay? That's the whole point of the commander system, is that they make new ones, and the new ones do different things, and those different things could be compelling enough that you want to max a new commander. That's how that system should work. But equipment is very different. The promise of equipment is that you make it, and it is always relevant. And because legendary equipment has a cost to disassemble that is literally thousands of dollars, to put new equipment that makes your old investments not worth just feels really bad as someone who just spent thousands of dollars on leadership equipment. So anyways, let's go to the next thing, which is that legendary quality random blueprint fragment chests will be added to the VIP shop for gathering and leadership. Those are very expensive. That's a very big whales play. I think even I will be waiting for those to show up in other events rather than spending in the VIP shop, which let me tell you, you really pay through the nose if you want to get it through there. And I have done that in the past, and it is very expensive. So from here, improvements and adjustments to the Season of Conquest. This is so big. It doesn't seem like it, but it's huge. In the Lost Kingdom, you can now join alliances in other kingdoms and migrate within the Lost Kingdom. Hold up, wait a minute. In the Lost Kingdom, you can join alliances from other kingdoms and then migrate within the Lost Kingdom. You can now join any alliance in your camp regardless of your kingdom. And after the season ends and the immigration period begins, you can apply to migrate to any kingdom in your current Lost Kingdom. After your application is approved, you'll be able to immigrate to that kingdom with fewer passport pages than you normally would. More information will be added to the main season page 7 days before the start of the immigration period. Crazy! This is a huge change. They've also improved the layout of the main Season of Conquest page. I don't know what that means yet. Presumably that's like this page, perhaps? Oh, wait, no, wrong account. Maybe it's this page. This is a Choose Your Story page. I'll show you the page that maybe they've optimized, which I can show you on my restart account, which is about to fight in this Nile KVK. In fact, if you're watching this, I might already be fighting. I've got a live stream, starts around 1830 UTC. I'm recording this around 1630 UTC, 16 UTC, whatever. So this interface is what I think is potentially getting changed. I mean, I don't know. I guess it could stand to get a little bit of a fixer-upper. But if we go back to the patch notes, there's more. Commander Margaret will now be added to the Legendary Tavern. I had hypothesized she might show up in Gold Keys, but Legendary Tavern does, I think, make more sense, sort of. She's still really, really, really hard to get. Like, you either buy her when she becomes available, and she is the ranged commander, by the way, or you wait till you open 200 keys in the Legendary Tavern, then you get an unlock. I don't know. Hopefully you've already obtained her if you wanted her, because Legendary Tavern will be a slow grind. From there, they are upgrading the Autarch and Vindicator Taverns. Now remember, this is a new mechanic at the end of a season that lets you choose a commander, but ultimately you're getting commanders at random and paying a lot of gems to get them. I think it's 3,600 gems. And if you're like Ultra Kraken status, this event is good. And if you're anybody else, it's kind of like, why is this here? It's very expensive. So they've now adjusted the number of available commanders in the Autarch Tavern from 2 to 1. In the Autarch Tavern and Vindicator Tavern, this is if you win KVK, the commander is no longer locked when selected, so you can change it. And before the event, you may freely switch the commander on the selected list. Okay, they also have reduced the duration from 3 days to 1 day. So it's like 1 day to do whatever you're going to do. And you can change your chosen commander anytime before the event ends. And they adjusted the rewards you can earn. Now, this is really interesting. You can now earn items for your selected commander or other items. So this could be a really, 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 really great change. In fact, I'm hopeful that it is. Because as it stands, getting a bunch of commanders at random is just like really only a Kraken's way of doing things. And I think people that were experiencing it felt like it wasn't very much of a reward for winning, because it's kind of like a wheel of fortune for a bunch of commanders you don't want. And this is far more interesting because instead it sounds like you're going to get to focus on the commander you actually want, which does feel like a prize for winning the KVK. So definitely looking forward to seeing what that change looks like. But we're not done, because the immigration rules are changing in a critical way. They have optimized the immigration rules for kingdoms that have just entered the Season of Conquest. After entering Season of Conquest and before beginning its first story, a kingdom can accept up to 150 immigrants per season. So they're reducing the number of people that can actually join a brand new kingdom that enters Season of Conquest. This means that you're not going to have kingdoms that enter into SoC suddenly become super fat, which is a thing that's happened a lot, actually. People migrate back, they turn it into a super kingdom. Instead, after your first story ends, now you can accept 500 migrants. And I think this applies to everyone in Season of Conquest, that you now can only accept 500 immigrants. But both of these numbers are problematic, and let me explain why. Today, as it stands, a very, very young kingdom can only accept 30 migrants that are coming from an old kingdom. Now, that's fine, except the problem is that anyone can migrate. There's no limitations onto who moves. So players currently spend a long, long time, hundreds of hours, preparing and picking and grooming the 30 people they want to migrate. And then a bunch of farms come in, a bunch of randoms come in, and their whole migration and their whole plan is ruined. And that's not been addressed, to my knowledge. And my fear is that this is going to be the same thing, but at a bigger scale. So if you wanted to wreck a kingdom, and I guarantee you there are people that want to wreck other kingdoms, you will make a bunch of farms and try to migrate them in to a kingdom to ruin their migration. I 100% guarantee you this will happen, and I 100% guarantee you the consequences are significant. So this is just going to get really weird if that works the way I think it works. The way you prevent this is actually very simple, I think. Currently, at the Lost Temple in your home kingdom, there's a mechanism where the king can select people who are migrating with a special ticket. I feel like if we're going to limit the number of people that can come to a kingdom, the king needs to be able to choose who's coming, or somebody's got to choose. Otherwise, random people can ruin the process. And I just am really worried that inflicting this limit could lead to that problem. So hopefully I'm wrong. But currently, this problem exists for super young kingdoms. Now, when immigrating, resources that exceed the protected resource capacity from your storehouse will be lost. So this is still unchanged, and that's always been the case with migration. Now, in addition, they're adding an engineering tab to the filters when selecting your commander. All right, that does mean, by the way, more engineering commanders are almost certainly on the way, which, we would have expected that. And defeated troops and rallied armies on the map will be displayed differently from normal troops in the strategic view. That's certainly interesting. They've optimized city teleportation from the Lost Kingdom. When returning from the Lost Kingdom to your original kingdom, you will be placed in a province in the top left outermost province of the kingdom if possible. I thought this was always the case, so I actually don't know what's changed here. And then they say they've optimized the display issue and trigger logic of the monthly special offer bundle. After the bundle presents, the content available for the month will not change due to your immigration. That's interesting. I don't know how many people that was affecting, but I don't think it's ever affected me. This optimization will take effect from the 1st of May. So this is a big update. It's changing how kingdoms can migrate in players. It's changing how you can play with the players from your war camp in a really major way. And it's adding leadership equipment that has me, genuinely hopeful that it's new and dynamic and different and not going to completely undermine my multi-$1,000 investment in crit leadership gear. And I don't know how I'm going to react if it does, in fact, undermine my crit leadership gear. It's just going to be really, really weird for me. So if you want to see that reaction, consider subscribing. Alternatively, there's probably a couple other videos you're going to be really interested in. In the cards in the end screen, I'll have a few things, both battling from this KVK and also information about migration from when I migrated a long, long time ago. Cards in the end screen.